Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribing to the Terrace as well. Manchester United grab an unexpected 0-0 draw away from home at Aston Villa and Chelsea. Most people expected a win and a convincing win. Draw after playing at least, 30 minutes against 10 men. 1-1 in their game with Nottingham Forest. We want to get your thoughts. We want to get your opinions. We want to get your reaction to these games right now in the comment section below, in the live chat. Get that done. Interesting afternoon. Interesting afternoon when you look at Manchester United. We're going to get onto Chelsea as well on this show, so make sure you stay with us. Panel coming a little bit later as well. But I'm going to start off with my team, Manchester United, and say this. There's an expression we have here in England, which is after the Lord's Mayor show. And essentially what it means is, in a footballing context, you get so up for a midweek game, as we saw Aston Villa do against Bayern Munich. They play well. The fans were excited. They maybe overachieve. But then what happens is there's almost like a downbeat feel about the next game, a little bit of tiredness in the legs, maybe the crowd not quite as excited, maybe a little bit of complacency coming into this game. People were predicting 3-4-5 and Aston Villa never really got going. Now, I'm going to praise Man United in this regard because I thought defensively we were amazing today. I really liked how we were set up defensively. Johnny Evans, rightfully the man of the match. A lot of criticism about him and Harry Maguire starting, but they did a very, very good job, and they nullified what has been a very dangerous Aston Villa team. Kept a clean sheet. Couple of good saves from Onana as well. But you saw one of the biggest fundamental problems at Manchester United today. When we're compact, when we're hard to break down, we struggle to attack. We isolate the forward. And then it becomes really desperate from all of our attackers. I might not get the ball for another 5 minutes. It's really hard. It's difficult. Panic sets in. And we lost the ball far too easily in every attack. Every attacker today for Man United. Rashford, awful. Garnacho, awful. Xerxes, Rasmus, both of them poor. In fairness, I actually thought Anthony, out of all of our attackers, was our best today. And that is saying a lot. Bruno Fernandes messing up attack after attack. But what I saw today was a manager, in my opinion, who made changes because I think he's going. I saw a team that are resigned to the idea of the head coach, Ten Hag, leaving. And they worked hard to not get beat and not get damaged. And I was proud of them for that. But this team, from a day-to-day coaching perspective, some ideas on the training ground, in terms of the individual, the spearhead has to be changed. A big change has to come for this Manchester United team. There is no doubt about it, because overall, it was a stinker. Yes, happy with the defending, but overall, it was another stinker. Nearly 290 minutes without a goal in the Premier League. And barring a good shot from Rashford early and a good free kick from Bruno, we didn't look at all like we were going to score if we played for another 90 minutes. Some luck today for Man United as well. Rashford should have received a red card. And I think Villa fans will have every single right to be frustrated that he wasn't shown that. And I think maybe because of Bruno Fernandes' wrongful red card last week, maybe that was in the head of the referee. But overall, I thought the referee had a shocking game. And I say that because, you know, he booked Mainu when he shouldn't. It took forever for a Villa player to get booked. He made a lot of mistakes today, and one of them, though, kept Rashford on the pitch. So from a United perspective, great luck for us. But Aston Villa have every right to call that out. They really do, especially when they spoke recently about refereeing the games to the letter of the law. More hypocrisy again from the referees, from VAR, from the PGMOL. They knew Rashford should have gone. Deliberate trip. It was a yellow card, and Man United got very, very lucky indeed when it came to that. But right now, and I'm only going with my gut feeling, you know, maybe I'll calm down in an hour. Maybe tomorrow I feel differently. 2 draws this week. not the hammerings people expected, but no performances, no goals again in the Premier League. I think that is the end of Erik ten Hag. If it is, look, thank you for the trophies. They mean a lot to us as a football club. Thank you for trying. But if anybody believes that these Man United players are as bad as we have looked in the last few weeks, that has led to our worst starts ever to a Premier League season, I think you're deluding yourself. Most of our players are looking poor. There is no consistency. There is no togetherness. We can't be compact and hard to beat and attack well at the same time. And that is a gargantuan red flag. So in the cold, hard light of day, I think it's the end of the road. It should be the end of the road for Erik ten Hag, but we will see. We need a shake-up. We need some new ideas in training. We need to be better drilled, and we need to get the basics better. Because I'll tell you this about Aston Villa today. They were there for the taking. I don't think anybody's going to have an easier game at Villa Park than Man United got today. They were flat. Listen, I'm not taking anything away from my defenders. They took Watkins and Duran out the game. But overall, I thought Villa were flat. They lacked a little bit of energy. And the one thing people said about them making it back into the Champions League 2 years running is, can they handle 2 games a week? That's the big question. It's going to be difficult for them. It really is. It's even for the fans, it takes a bit of getting used to. But look, Man United had some good basics today. If Man United they were well drilled in our attacks, we could have scored a few goals today. But barring some long-range efforts, we came absolutely nowhere near it. When it comes to Chelsea, look, Chelsea fans should be disappointed today. They should be disappointed with the result. They were the better team for large parts, but they just lacked that end product so much today, Chelsea. 22 shots on goal. They won't be happy with the fact they conceded 16 shots, but 22 attempts on goal is a pretty decent number, 8 of which were also on target. To only score 1 is a disappointing day in the office for Chelsea. There's no doubt. They've taken great stride forwards as of late. They're up against a mid-table or bottom of the half team, and they just couldn't deliver. And I think the area that will really upset Moresca and will really frustrate Chelsea fans is in the 78th minute. By the way, so that's 12 minutes plus 13 time added on. So you're talking half an hour they basically had against 10 men. They just didn't do enough. They didn't dominate the game well enough. And we always said there was going to be some peaks and troughs with Chelsea, even though I think they're going to improve and impress this year. And this is one of those days where they've just hit a low point. They just couldn't quite get over the line. And look, Sells in goal for Forest had an absolute blinder of a game with some great saves. But you've also got to shout out Sanchez as well. He's saving the 95th minute of the game. Actually set up a counter-attack where Nkunku should score. And then very late on, the last kick of the game, another save as well from Sanchez, who has rightfully been criticised by Chelsea fans in recent weeks, but he really stepped up and made himself be counted today. But I think overall, Chelsea fans will be highly frustrated with not winning this game inside in the end, it's like 102, 103 minutes, especially when they went down to 10 men, Forest. But a really good point. A really, really good point for Nuno Espirito Santo and his men, really. When they scored, you thought, okay, can they hang on? And they equalised, and you thought, oh, they're going to get killed here. But it didn't happen. And I think what Forest did really well today, and I got this wrong in the prediction. I felt what Nottingham Forest might do is not respect Chelsea enough. I thought what Nottingham Forest might do is come here and be a little bit more expansive, commit 1 or 2 extra players forward, maybe not be as disciplined. And they weren't. They really respected Chelsea. They saw the dangers that the Sanchos, Madueke's, who, by the way, Madueke was excellent today, got his goal. I thought he was dangerous. He was a constant thorn in the side of Forest. But Forest were really respectful, and they understood, no, this is a top team now. This is a team that can damage us. This is a team that can hurt us. And they showed Chelsea that respect. But they just made it hard. And whenever they did penetrate, Sells stepped up with save after save after save and great blocks. And look, Chelsea conceded opportunities too. Some great last-ditch defending from Levi Colwell in the first half. There was a block to stop a certain goal. But I think they will be disappointed in the end, especially going up against 10 men. But I'd love to get your views and I'd love to get your opinions on that. Make sure you're leaving your comments below. Make sure you are subscribing to The Terrace as well. I can sleep good tonight knowing Chelsea and Villa drop points. I just need them to be good enough to beat City. And I can understand. Listen, this is for rivals of those teams or teams fighting out for the top four, whatever it may be. Tonight is a great day for you. And Man United actually doing top four rivals in that regard. A big favor, a real big favor. He broke another record, a worst start to a league campaign, but he won 2 trophies. He needs to bounce. His procedures aren't even that bad. If you still back this man, you don't care about the club. Terry said hello. Terry, say hello to a gal of Chelsea, the famous Don. The guy doesn't even breathe when he speaks and can't speak about Chelsea without talking about Arsenal. Yeah, a real disappointing day for them today. There's no doubt. United in attack looks like a team trying to come up with a solution on the fly. That doesn't appear to be any instinct on where to be positionally, and subsequently no idea. Ben, I think, do you know what's one of the best super chats we've had on here in a long time? I was thinking the same thing watching the game. You're right. There is this element of if somebody can't create it themselves, we're done. And at the beginning of the season, there's some really nice patterns of play, some really good one-touch, two-touch football. It's gone. It's absolutely gone. And that's what I mean by working on the basics. That needs to be so well drilled into this team. We have none of it. You're absolutely spot on. Where is the best attacking partnership? Yeah, they didn't have a great day today, did they? They didn't have a great day today at all. Just looking at the stats here. But I mean, Palmer did, though, create 6 chances on goal today. They just couldn't score. It was a mad one. But do you know what it is for me, though? A lot of people are going to call Chelsea out. A lot of people are going to rip into Chelsea. But you can take something from the performance, especially the attacking performance. It wasn't limp. It wasn't flat. It wasn't non-existent. The one thing I would say that I'd be more concerned about today as a Chelsea fan is the abundance of chances they conceded as opposed to the chances they created. One mid-game and watch how trolls come out is what AK says. DR here says he's not the best at playing out from the back, but Sanchez as a goalkeeper is class beyond belief. Enzo Fernandez is just not it for me. Lavia or Vega. Yeah, Caicedo, what didn't help Caicedo was giving away that booking early in the game, rightful booking. But there was another game where Enzo just wasn't quite the guy again. I hear where you're coming from, DR. Here's a stat. In the last 15 Premier League games, Dice has more points than Ten Hag. Dice 22, Ten Hag 20. That's mad, and people back him, deluded. And do you know what's crazy? Do you guys remember about a year ago, and I still get it now in the comment section, people saying, Terry, I can't believe you think you praise what Arsenal were doing in the league, but at the same time, you think that Ten Hag should be sacked. And I'm still to this day waiting for the explanation how you can compare where Arsenal are right now, where Liverpool are right now, compared to Man United in the league. Isn't it crazy? I love Sanchez, save of the season so far twice. Yeah, I mean, do you know what? You almost, with his save for that first one in the 95th minute, if Nkunku converts, you almost got a sort of Troy Deeney moment. Do you remember Troy Deeney from Watford, where the penalty was double save from the penalty, and they went down the other end and scored? That almost happened. It's crazy. Chelsea draw and our rivals are laughing, shows improvement. Forest will beat some top six teams this season. Certainly will. And you've got to think they had 10 men and nearly won it as well. The Blue £1 billion bottle jobs couldn't beat 10 men Nottingham Forest at home, is what AA has got to say here. Yeah, that will be the real disappointing thing, I believe, for Chelsea, is that element, AA, that they got that numerical advantage on the pitch. And I actually want to go look at a stat here. Let me find, where is it? Where was that? Oh, there, the red card happened then. So the red card happened at this point. Do you know what's crazy? They had 83% of the ball. But in that time that they're up, it was 10 versus 9. It was 4 shots on target for Chelsea, 3 shots on target for Nottingham Forest. Prior to that, prior to the red card, so I've got to go back one little bit. Shots on target was, actually, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Only 4 before that for Chelsea, 6 for Nottingham Forest. They did cut through them today and had those chances. They've got to watch out for that. I didn't even realize it was so many, but that was a secondary game I was watching on a different screen. Crazy. I didn't realize they had that many, Forest. Wow. Thanks for the super chat. Emery is put on a pedestal, but never gets criticism. Overplayed by United and Ipswich. Nobody will mention it as soon as he wins. He's the best after Pep. Do you want to know what's really interesting? I think that comes with the club that you're at and the way that the mainstream media treat them. You know, me and KJ were talking during the game. You listen to Jamie Carragher speaking. And there were times where Jamie Carragher would see a shot from a Villa player that went almost out for a throw-in. And he'd be like, "Oh, they got close there. Nice bit of work. A nice shot. Unlucky. Keep trying," basically. Man United would have a shot that just goes over. And they'd go, "Oh, poor effort." You could hear the excitement in his voice. And he wanted Man United to lose today. And what you sometimes get when you get these upstarts, these teams, Villa are big in their history, but a team that kind of breaks into the top four now and does well, they almost get, like when Leicester were winning the league, everybody in their dog wanted them to win it. And I feel like you kind of get that with the likes of Aston Villa. But then when something goes wrong, they don't really care enough to criticize them, because he does probably deserve criticism today. If we're being absolutely honest, if Unai Emery is the second best manager in the league, which I think is a fair shout, I'm not denying it, Villa are this brilliant side. They've gone up against a Man United team in 14th in the league that haven't scored in 2 games, that the manager's about to be sacked, and they didn't lay a glove. If that was any other member of the top 6, in that particular scenario, they would be getting ripped to shreds by the mainstream media. That's when you know you've arrived as a big club, in my personal opinion. Let's have a look at some more of these super chats here. Forest beat Liverpool away and took points at the Bridge. Palmer was ridiculous in the box. Madueke stepped up. Modeska has shown he can coach so far. I agree. It's not our worst performance, not our day. Last season and season before, we would have lost. Facts. It happens. You ever played football in your life? Come on now. It's a draw. Would have lost last season. Tried to tell people Villa wouldn't destroy Man United. Look, I thought I was worried. I was really worried, especially when I saw the starting lineup. You never know the mentality of the players at that point. But I have to say, I was very, very surprised with how compact we were. And I was happy that we did that today. I really, really was. Because if it is the end, at the point we got in the Europa League on Thursday, the point that we got today, it might serve us well later on in the season. So, again, I'd much rather draw 0-0 than get beat 4-0, no matter what's going on. Going to be interesting how Modeska handles the next few games. Cucurella and Fofana out for the Liverpool match, and the video showed Jackson threw a punch. Did he? And VAR missed it. Well, yeah, Jackson will get a 3-game ban then if he threw a punch. But I haven't seen it myself. But if he's throwing a punch, yeah. Frustrating, but perspective, it's that one more point than a certain team got against Forest at home. Anfield hype, lol, decent start to the season. I'm bringing out KJ. I'm bringing out Winter Surfer now. I'm not too sure if anyone else is joining us today. But KJ's here. Andrew's here with us. KJ, thoughts, mate?
Boring, uninspiring, unimaginative, drab, dross, cowardly, desperate. That's all I've got to say about this game today. People will praise the defense, being like, "Oh yes, we didn't concede and we played really well defensively." But what's the point of doing all of that if you can't string 2 passes together to score a goal? What's the point of doing that when you've clearly your game plan is to just not concede? I don't think he came here to win. He didn't come here to win. He just came here to not concede, and that's fine in the grand scheme of, like, if you're trying to progress somewhere and you're going somewhere as a club. Tough away game against a tough team. You're near the top of the table. You'll take a point away from home and try and beat him at home. But that's not the case for Man United. We are down in the pits. Every game we must win to try and get anywhere closer to the objective of top 4. And today we just didn't do anything to inspire that things are going to change. If this was a game, quote unquote, that's supposed to be your last chance to show that you've got something to be Manchester Man United manager, you've not shown anything, because there's no bit of hope. Even if, let's say, we show some patterns, we show some fight, and actual like shots on goal, actual big chances created, and then maybe you lose, you can kind of swallow it. Because you kind of like, you know what, yeah, at least he went out swinging. But he didn't go out swinging. He went out with his guard up. He went out there with the players, making sure that they're just not going to concede. And people will be like, oh, yeah, but look how you guys have been, how poor you guys have been. This is a really good point. This is the point I'm trying to make. We are embarrassing in terms of we've been little boyed now. We're getting little boyed, getting little broed by everyone. I'm hearing commentators pat us on the head because we haven't conceded in 30 minutes. It's not good enough. It's not good enough, especially for a man who's supposedly on the chopping block. So I don't want to hear, oh, but you guys did well. Oh, but look at the players. They actually turned up today. Don't hear none of that. It wasn't good enough. If you're trying to get better, this is not how you do it. And personally, my mind hasn't changed. I know what I want him to do. I know what I want Ineos to do. Yeah, and that's it. But yeah, no credit from me, to be fair, because Villa, they were off it today. Yeah, another day we just get bad.
Listen, I'd get your frustration. The reason he didn't go out swinging, the reason he didn't really try and attack them is because we can't do two things at once, Man United. When we open up and try and attack, we concede 3 or 4 goals. When we compact and don't overcommit going forward, we struggle to score goals. It literally always goes one of those two ways. So I'm not surprised. I just heard him speak now, though, in his interview, and he just said that this is a real good team, good bunch. We're working hard. We're working hard to improve the process. This is a long-term project, and we just got to keep faith with what we're doing.
Shut up,
no.
It's not a long-term project, bro. Oh my days. It's not. I don't think it's generally that hard to make us better. I really don't. I know G might come and counter that with players and the mentality, and we've had this discussion on Twitter before, so that's fine. And I agree with him in that sense. But every game, it can't be just about keep the faith, believe. Like it's a process. It's long. Like we can't keep doing that. There needs to be a solution, because I'm not seeing a solution from anywhere. I'm not seeing anything changing. It's literally just the same stuff week in, week out, and it's just hoping that players will score. I saw Anthony take a shot today, which was a decent shot, but he received the ball from Dalot. And after that, Dalot was the only man near him to actually pass to. It's constantly our players are isolated from each other, and people are wondering why we're not scoring. It's not enough, man. It's not enough. It's not enough. I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says. I don't know who backing him. He's not doing enough for me to say that he should manage Manchester United. And today's game is not an indication that things are changing. It's literally just he didn't get beat. Well done.
No, I totally get where you're coming from. Andrew, 1-1, last 30 minutes against 10 men. What did you make of Chelsea overall today?
I think a point's a fair result today, Terry. I think both sides had their chances. Yeah, like I said, 10 minutes. I came at the end of it where it somehow scrambled onto the post and didn't cross the line. But Forest were set up pretty good. I understand why they won at Anfield now. They were pretty good set up. I thought, yeah, they did exactly what they needed to do after 10 men. They disrupted the game so much that we lost up. It took us a few minutes to build momentum up again. They did exactly what you need to do when you go down to 10 men, which I credit them for. Sanchez saved us at the end, and Nkunku's got to score that, Terry, right at the end. He's got to score that header right at the end. It's right in front of the goalkeeper. He puts it right into the goalkeeper. Either side, that's a goal. We're talking 3 points here. But overall, it wasn't the best performance overall. I know we had a lot of shots and everything like that, but I didn't feel we really only tested the goalkeeper right at the end. I didn't think he was under pressure that much. Cole Palmer had a quiet game. That's what happens. But I thought the referee lost a bit of control with the whatever that thing was at the end. With that wasn't even a brawl; it was just handbags. But it was a fair result in the end, and we walk away with a point. We didn't. I don't think we deserve to win today. Overall, I think they had a good game plan, and they're a good team. Away from home, they're a good team. I mean, they set up really well away from home, but we didn't create enough. We didn't create enough to win. So I think the draw is a fair result.
Yeah, a number of Chelsea fans in the comment section have sort of been going in on Enzo Fernandez again today. I want to get your take on that.
Well, his corners are shocking. His corners are absolutely shocking. They've never been the first man. Yeah, but I thought most of the game we just seemed to be a bit more slower. It seemed to, and it's not as if the guys that played didn't play on Thursday either. So they've had a long enough rest to do anything. But like I say, I'll give credit to Forest as well. They set up pretty well. But yeah, it wasn't the best day at the office, and that says something when everyone wants to come out and dog us for drawing. Do you know what I mean? But we were playing 25 minutes against 10 men. But like I said, they did the perfect tactics when you go down to 10 men. Disrupt the play as much as possible. And that's what they did brilliantly. So credit to them. And they earned that draw. They deserve to draw today.
Super chat here that says Chelsea's next 4 games: Liverpool, Newcastle, Man United, Arsenal. Are you excited about those games? Or are you a little bit apprehensive? Like, how do you feel just right now?
Well, Liverpool are now without Fofana and Cucurella because they're suspended, but Vega and Tosin will come in. That would be the biggest test. Newcastle, I'm not worried about Newcastle at home. I know we've got a wretched record up at yours, Terry, but if Ten Hag's still there, I demand a victory at Old Trafford. I just do. And Arsenal one, that's another challenge. We're at home, but let's see what they do. But the Anfield, I'm going to use the old cliche, Terry. Let's do it one game at a time. Do you know what I mean? Let's get out of it. If you give me a point at Anfield right now, I take it. I take the point at Anfield and move on from there. Right now, with no context whatsoever, I take the point from Anfield right now. That's what I do.
I hear you on that. We're going to go to Alex on Chelsea in a minute. But Sunshine, not much to review in the match in itself. But do you think Ten Hag's team selection today is an indication that he's gone?
I don't think it can be that surface level, to be fair, to go off a team selection to say he's gone. I think the people that are adamant of getting him out, knowing that he hasn't been sacked in the last week or two, are now stretching to certain ideologies that, let's try and find a reason for him to get gone. I don't think his team selection is fair to look at and say he's gone. His team selection today got the job done in terms of defensively. 2 parts to the story, by the way, I'm not saying overall. So, again, I'm thinking, do I put myself in his shoes? Don't concede today. Trying to hold on to a draw, starting building blocks of a foundation. Sometimes when shit hits the fan, you got to go back to the basics in anything. Now, I'm not saying that in favour or against Ten Hag. I'm just trying to put myself in his shoes. He's a man trying to keep his job. So if that's the case, let me go back to the foundation. I believe he did that today in terms of defensively. But the opportunities we had when we did go forward, bear in mind, shall we say, Aston Villa, a very good team at the moment. They've been consistent in the sense of what they did last season. They brought into this season. So this isn't like Villa, some easy team. This Villa team should have whopped us 3-0, 4-0 based on form alone. So there has to be some form of credit, whether you like it or not, or whether it goes against the favour of sacking him. There has to be. I'm just trying to be objective here. But in terms of going forward again, Terry, I want to see Man United win, and we had major opportunities to put the ball. Forget the free kick. Free kicks either go in or they don't. It's either brilliant or it's not. But gone at you right at the end, that through ball. There's just the lack of quality. Bruno's there, busting the gut, sprinting forward. Zertsky I just don't rate him at this moment in time. He's another Weghorst. He's great with link-up play and everything else, but then what? What else? We've got no one clinical, in my opinion, in the front forward again to just break the lines or just do something dominant. We don't have predator instincts, and I think a lot of it's been built up from the pressure where we saw Rashford in the first half. I think Dalot who made the overlap? It was either Dalot or Hurland, one of them. And it's like he hesitated to make the pass, and that shows already that their mindset is collapsed. It's gone. That there's no decisiveness within what they're trying to do no more. So they are going to be scrapping for wins now. They are going to be looking at trying to hit people on the counter and trying to get a 1-0, 2-0 win, because that's where they are at the moment. Should that be where they want to be? No. But to finalise, there's just no clinical edge. Man United fans, regardless of situation, me personally, I'll speak for myself and myself only. I want to win. I want Man United to win 24/7. So for today, I wanted a win, regardless of manager sacking or not. Like, it's not good enough. But I wanted the win, and I'm looking at the lack of quality, Terry, at the front and thinking, Like, there's no hope anyway. Even when there was confidence and you're creating 17 big chances and missing them all, there's no hope. The style of football I thought needs to get in the bin. Like, football, people are overcomplicating it because Pep's come in here and shown you that he could get rid of Ronaldinho, get rid of Eto'o and all them, man, and start playing tiki-taka, and then that's the way of football. Football hasn't changed too much if you don't want it to. Just give me some predatorial instincts in and around that final third and they'll make stuff happen. Because if you get results, all of a sudden you've got the best style of football in the world. And that's how quickly it can change.
Yeah, I understand that point of view. I do agree that everybody lacked quality today, but it's the fact that our forwards consistently in the last 18 months have looked like this, barring unless somebody has a really good day. The lack of consistency from the majority of our front line tells me this is more about how it's not even the style of play, because again, I think that's overused. I think it's just we're not drilled right. They don't look confident. They don't look like they want to be there. They look unprepared. Sometimes, like from a fighting background that I'm from, I have friends that had fights, and you'd see them. They might go backstage at the event they're at before and go, "How you feeling?" You see their face. Like, what's wrong? They wouldn't say much because they're trying to keep right. They lose a fight. What happened? I had an awful camp. I knew I didn't feel right. I didn't feel ready. I didn't do the right stuff. Sometimes it was their fault. Sometimes it was the coach, training, personal life, whatever else can happen. And I look at our front line, and they are there's almost no synergy. There was a really good move we did. Ball gets into Xerxes. Xerxes actually flicks it round the corner really well, thinking, well, a player's going to be running in.
Yeah, Anthony,
no one there.
there.
And it's one of those things where it might look like a bad pass and a silly thing from him to do, but everybody's doing that so consistent that there's no chemistry. If it was FIFA, there'd be red lines everywhere.
That's not really what I'm focused on. Those little things, that's football. Like Xerxes, that little flick was perfect. Anyone who knows ball knows that there should have been a player running onto that. It looks bad on the eye. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about clear-cut chances that are being made where it's like, bro, put it on target, bag it. Xerxes had many of them this season alone. Rashford's had many. Garnacho's had many. It's like those bits there that has nothing to do with the style of play or the system. What you do have done enough to get you those big chances, and now it's on the individual to put it through. For the past 3 seasons, Terry, on your show, I've been bagging for predators in the final third. And you lot talking about, get a keeper, we do this. Pack the midfield, we do this. We keep forgetting Eric Ten Hag, first season, managed to have one of the most solid defenses in Europe. It's not too hard to go, you know what? Let's build off that. It's not hard to do that.
So I understand you, though, but I think what you're asking for stems from all the other stuff, in the sense of confidence being grown. That's that first season, once he settled and we had a solid base, weren't leaking loads of goals, playing decent football. So Rashford had the best season of his career as an example.
Yeah.
We were playing some nice football. We were being predatory. We were converting chances. I think part of our problem is that we are not the players feel this. I don't think they feel well drilled enough. I don't think they feel ready. I don't think they feel prepared enough. I think they feel the basics are wrong. I think all of that is like a domino effect that leads to these problems. But I hear what you're saying. Alex, from a Chelsea point of view today, talk to me, my friend. Dominated the ball, had the most chances, but couldn't beat in the end. Last 30 minutes of the game, 10 men. Talk to us.
I kind of miss those kind of games. That what we had today is actually proper English game, proper EPL. This is why I like this league. Is nitty gritty, waste a little bit of time, put some physicality on the team. That it's not like we consistently headed that possession. It's like 10 minutes there, 5 minutes there, and they stopped us. They did the nitty gritty stuff real well against us. Those 30 minutes that we had like a 10 man. If you really break those 30 minutes down between the goalkeeper and the fouls, it's really not that much time that we had. If you think about it, we create a lot of chances in those last 30 minutes with 10. Palmer, that spin that he made was unbelievable. The goalkeeper, man of the match. That should tell you. The goalkeeper of Forest was the man of the match. So that tells you that there's like a game there. There was not just I actually liked the game. It was a real fun game. Especially people saying a Nottingham Forest, top. It happens in England more than in any other league. So I kind of enjoyed it. Even though it's 1-1, I'm not upset about it. I'm more excited about it because if it was a season or 2 seasons ago, we'll be smacked. We will be smacked under Pochettino. We will be smacked under our manager. I liked it. I was okay with the game. I was okay with the result. It's pity we didn't finish, but I'm okay with it. That's all it is.
I hear you on that. I suppose, are you sort of talking from the perspective of there's a performance in there?
Yes.
You can grow from this point,
Exactly.
as opposed to flat note. And I hear that, and I understand exactly where you're coming from. A few of the members in the audience are calling you out, saying, "But Sanchez was your best player." So does that not say you were lucky as well? That's what a few of the comments are saying.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like the goalkeepers have made the game more excited than what the actual team did. You know what I'm saying? Like the first half was actually, you can scrap it. There was nothing there, like literally nothing there in the first half. But the minute that they score, kind of wake us up and wake the game. Those saves that the both goalkeepers made. First of all, Sanchez was self-inflicted. That possession that he lost and he's had to save. Otherwise, it was like he will be literally like one of the Colombians after World Cup. He gets shot outside, like going back to his country if he was gonna concede that goal after losing possession. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the way we played. Like we're not there yet. We're not Pep Guardiola team that like knows everybody's movement, knows everybody's tricks. That's why you see those passes that sometimes don't connect, sometimes are too short, because we're not there yet. If you expect us to be there yet, expect us to challenge for the title. But don't laugh at us. Oh, Chelsea's challenging for the thing, and then at the same time, everybody. This is what's confusing. Everybody's saying like, oh, Chelsea's that, but nobody gives us a credit when the credit's due, and nobody's like, my English is a little bit limited, but when you expect the players to be what you think, you should fight for the title, right? But we're not there yet, and rival fans, they want to point that out. You're not there yet. I know I'm not there yet. That's it. I'm okay with that.
I understand where you're coming from. Just it's been confirmed by Nazir Kinsella that Nico Jackson could be in trouble because video evidence. I mean, again, VAR stinker. It appears that he slapped a Forest player around the face and it was missed by the VAR, but it's now been seen. Again, that could be another player missing though for the next 3 games. So for the Liverpool match, you've got Newcastle and then Man United.
Ask Hossam who he'd rather have, Jackson as attacking him or Nkunku.
So you're not worried that you might miss 3 games through suspension?
No, I have Nkunku.
I don't know why he still does this.
Yeah.
That was. I don't know why he still second half last year. I thought he got it out of his system because the first half of last year that's where he got all these bookings. But he's still getting involved. It's like you don't need to get involved. It's so stupid.
Andrew. That free kick. That free kick that when we conceded when the injured player.
Oh right, yeah. But still, you just don't need to. You just leave it alone. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, just leave it. Just I don't know why. I wish if Enzo Maresca sees it, I hope he kicks him up the backside if he gets suspended as well, or even if he doesn't. Just kick him up the backside anyway. And tell him not to do it. Yeah, not to do it. It's stupid.
Griggs, and that's hard to probably assess the game individually today, which we like to do on this show. Where's your head at with United? I want to ask you this question, really. What do you think the decision is going to be in the next 24 to 48 hours regarding Ten Hag after that? And what's your gut telling you right now?
My gut is telling me that he's going to stay. I don't think they're going to sack him based off that. It's unfortunate, in my opinion, but it is what it is. I don't think today I honestly, the fact that today you could class as a good performance for United, it shows how bad the standards have been this season. That's how bad it was today. I've seen games where I've said that was a waste of my 90 minutes. Today, what actually epitomizes that was a waste of my 90 minutes because it didn't look like either team wanted to put the ball in the back of the net. Villa obviously looked like they were hungover from Wednesday, beating Bayern Munich, so they didn't look at their best. And for us, defensively, we were amazing. I'm not going to question that. Johnny Evans pull back the years. Harry Maguire was good in the first 45 minutes. Dalot with the game-saving block. But I never really questioned Ten Hag sometimes when Ten Hag can put a mid-block and a mid-block/low block, we'll defend very well. We have the players to do that. The question is, I think Neji mentioned the attack. We didn't, other than Marcus Rashford going at Villa and having a couple of shots, we did not look like we were going to score the goal. And Terry mentioned like how the players don't look well drilled. And this is why I don't, no matter what results Ten Hag gets right now, I want him gone. Our attackers look like they hate playing with each other. Højlund hates playing with Rashford. Højlund hates playing with Garnacho. Garnacho looks like he hates playing with Rashford. Xerxes came on the pitch, tried to do a flick with Antony. Nothing happened. It's these guys they don't have any chemistry with each other. And yes, the quality of the attackers is not as high as we've been used to at Man United, but we have 5 goals in 7 games. That is less than a goal a game. I think it's like 0.75 or something like that. That is atrocious. Somehow, some way, we managed to have a worse start this year than last year. I don't even know how that's possible, but yet we managed to do it. He's managing to do the impossible once again. It's so bad. And the whole board was there today. Just put the guy out of his misery, put me out of my misery, put everyone else out of their misery. And I don't know what they want to do. Ruud van Nistelrooy looked like he was cussing him out like the 70th minute. They were yelling at each other. Yesterday, we had the leaks coming out from Mullock about Ineos hired Van Nistelrooy as a failsafe, which we all said during the summer, stuff like that. It's just a bunch of drama. I don't want to be a TMZ club right now. I'm tired of it. Just get him out. And then I don't know what they want to do with the stuff like that, but I don't think they're going to sack him because it was a decent result. Can I
ask a question just quickly? The United fans, you included, Terry. If, hypothetical, Ten Hag gets sacked, let's say Van Nistelrooy takes over, what would your honest, no one team say predictions, what would you be happy with for this season, say an interim manager? What would you genuinely be happy with? Because I think there's still enough games to at least challenge for top 4, not make top 4, but challenge for top 4. And do you think that's realistic given the fact we've got better players and people thinking about the system?
Yeah, no, I agree. I look at it this way. I don't mind it as an interim manager, but it has to be a head coach or a manager who has overlap and similarities to the person we're targeting for the long term. It would make no sense to, I don't know how Ruud's going to get us to play, but imagine Ruud sets us up playing one way, and then it turns out we're getting Tuchel in the summer. There needs to be continuity because you can still improve as a squad and as a team whilst changing head coaches. So as long as we get that element right, and there is overlap and there are similarities between the managers, then I'm quite happy with it. On what you were saying though, Griggs, it's just been revealed now by a couple of outlets that Ten Hag this evening is set for crisis talks with Manchester United. On top of that, it's also been said by a few updates from, I can't remember his name, David Ornstein. Yep. Firstly, he said that there's been no offer made to Inzaghi. Inzaghi can't speak English. That's not on the cards. He stated that, this is probably good news for Man United fans, that basically saying the Southgate thing doesn't look like it can happen. He wasn't even on the list in the summer type thing. And there was another update as well saying that all the stories that Man United can't afford to sack Ten Hag because of FFP is ridiculous is not the case as well. So interesting. I mean, that's why I think he might go, because Ornstein rarely, doesn't always get it right, but rarely mentions transfers, manager sackings, anything, unless there is an element of sort of like he's hearing noises, something might happen. So I'm hopeful because I just don't see it improving. And I was
on Griggs' point as well about this whole say if they don't sack him, it's this game, the Villa game wasn't enough to sack him. That was what would give me worries about Ineos. Right now, I'm very calm with them in charge. I love the fact that all of them was there because it shows that they have intentions to run this club properly. And they actually want to show their face and actually manage the team and manage the club to a point where we are getting back to the top. So I love the fact they were there. I actually like the signings that they made this summer. And it's one of those ones where it's like, please do not start letting my hope down by making decisions like, because this game went okay, we're going to keep him. Because he won the FA Cup, we're going to keep him. Like this notion of isolated games being the reason why we keep or sack a manager. I hope that's not true. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it is, but I hope it's not true because then it shows me that you guys aren't competent at what you're doing. You've brought in people that are supposed to be the best in class or some of the best in their roles, but yet you can't make a simple decision for your club in terms of what direction you want to go in. I said this is one of the most important games for Man United on Twitter in like post Fergie, because I do genuinely believe this international break will set where we're going as a football club.
Can I ask you a question?
KJ, just quickly.
Yeah.
The issue, again, putting Man United first, forget Ten Hag, managers, whatever, put Manchester United first. I thought Man United to win stuff this season. I definitely still want a trophy.
Yeah.
If they sack him now, they have to have somebody in mind already. Like Terry's just said, because you have to think about the structure of the club and where you're going, it's no longer a case of we can just go get any manager that we've been doing before that has a different style of play and everything else. To find that, because it's going to be a lot more difficult than just saying, oh, these are available, pick one. To find someone that suits the ideology of where you want to take the club, etc., is going to take even more time. Now, have they had enough time to find that right person? Because the reality is, if they get rid of Ten Hag and they bring whoever that manager is in, and we still end up in the same situation, then it's going to be like, right, you need to get rid of him.
But
I don't want that no more.
No, I understand that, and I think that all the challenges towards Ineos, positive, negative, or indifferent, are fair because we have been run so poorly, well, for the last 18 years, 19 years, but especially since Fergie retired. The reason my only sort of message to Man United fans is remain objective, don't show your bum, and don't keep your powder dry when it comes to the owners, because we don't know. They are not going to tell them, even the media, that, because it would be stupid to. We have a short list of managers we've been working on. Like Barada was part of a group of people at City that would have a list of. City have a potential replacements for Pep. They've had it for years, and they keep updating it on a regular basis. Every club should have that list, because you don't know. Maybe the manager does well, and his national team come in, and he says, "You know what, guys, I want to leave. I'm not going to renew my contract. It's a dream for me." If we don't have a list of replacements, whether we're doing bad or well, that would concern me. But I think as Man United fans, because it hasn't quite gone how we wanted, some are saying we're not proactive enough. But you don't know if we're not being proactive yet. You could be right, and we're not, and we're going to react, and we're going to panic. But I think we have to give it some time. We all now know it's obvious that keeping him has been a mistake. Again, unless you think what LB does, who's a City fan, who I thought was going to stick the knife in on Tuesday. But said his theory, and again, it holds water logically, is that, well, maybe they just wanted to genuinely give him a chance and back him. But this way around, you eradicate all support. So at least then we can all move on and say that didn't work. Where if he goes after the FA Cup, you literally have a split fan base, potentially a split dressing room before the new guys even started. And that's why sometimes in life you have to reverse before you go forward. And I think that as fans, we all just want to see progression day one. I understand it. I don't think you're wrong. But we are awful at this as football fans, at looking at the bigger picture at times. Everything can be very, very tunnel vision. And it doesn't mean that a lot of the concerns and problems don't hold water. I think that with the ownership and that element. So where Ten Hag's right today, this is a long-term project. But you've been here 3 years, and we should be able to pass the ball better in the attack, mate. That it's not a long-term project to get this group of players to pass the ball better. The long-term project to make us champions of England, I agree with. But it's just, I think what's happened with this with Arteta, who, by the way, hasn't won the Premier Champions League yet, because of how he struggled for a couple of years and how good they are now. I even think managers sort of use that as, well, it's just the same as Arteta. Yeah. It's going to be the same. It's not, is it? Most managers, again, Arteta's situation different as well because of the experience that he had as a manager. It's all different. It isn't the same scenario. But Alex, you had a question because then I want to go to the super chat. Go for it.
My question is I don't know how when you fire managers, it usually happens at the second half of the season or it happens sporadically.
It all depends, though. We've sacked LVG after winning a trophy. We sacked Jose in December, I believe. We sacked Ollie in November. So it just all depends on when the board. Well, that was under the Glazers as well. It was all dependent on, do they believe we'll get top four or not? And when they felt like we weren't going to get top four, that's when they usually pull the trigger. But now we don't know.
Ollie went in like late October, early November. So we've done it early before. Jose went in the December.
That's my question. Usually, is that
LVG went at the end of the season?
Moyes went towards the end of the season. So, like, it all depends.
Moyes went when he didn't qualify. When we got beat by Everton and we failed to qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah.
This year says Ineos could have been waiting for the international break to sack Ten Hag to give Ruud a couple of weeks to implement some basics before match day. I think Ineos are trying to be strategic. I mean, all of these things are logical, which is why, oh my God, what a fluky goal for Tottenham. I have never seen anything as fluky as that in my life, but it might have just been disallowed for offside. Timo Werner heads it, and it like pinballs off 3 or 4 people and goes in.
Of course, it's Werner who gets the fluke as well.
VAR gives it, and then the linesman puts his flag up. But yeah, look, this is why I'm saying to Man United fans, please don't panic at this point. And you also know what they do. We don't know what we don't know. Give it a little bit. Like, if Ruud comes in and we start looking really, really good, everyone's going to suddenly go, oh, I like what Ineos are doing, aren't they? And for me, I think it's a case of just keep your powder a little drier, potentially. Liverpool lost to Forest at home. Quick reminder. Yeah, they're a good team, Forest. Well drilled by Nuno. I'm so sick and tired of Chelsea fans calling Palmer, Nkunku, Enzo, and Jackson world class. That's Don. Liverpool, please destroy this Chelsea team so they know their place.
No one in the Chelsea fan base. I don't even think Don called him. Did Don call Nico Jackson world class? I don't even think he has made that claim whatsoever. Okay. It's just I'm just glad we're at this state now that we're back, that we rattle you so much that after a draw. You're so annoyed. You're so pleased that we drew that we're back. That's what I'm saying. We're back. It just feeds us. Please more. Please more. We love being hated. We love being hated. Please more.
We are regional haters.
Regional haters, bro.
I hear you. I'm sorry. You mean the same defense in his first season that got packed away from home, giving up 7-0, 6-0, couldn't win again. But Joshua, that's up until that 7-0 game. If you actually look at that season, we started off by losing our first 2 matches. And then up until that Liverpool match, we improved massively. And then, they're in again here, Liverpool. Brennan Johnson. Oh, it's 6 in 6 for Brennan Johnson.
Oh,
wow. 6 in 6 for Brennan Johnson. It's crazy. That man's on fire right now.
You know what's funny as well? I've actually always liked the kid. It just wasn't. I just didn't think maybe he's that quality or ready for Spurs. But hey, it's working.
But this is the whole point, right? Again, if we're being honest, does anybody hand on heart think Brennan Johnson's actually a better football player than Marcus Rashford or Garnacho? I don't think he is. No. But a well-drilled basic
Garnacho,
system.
that's up for debate. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I just think it comes down to
Do you know what I find with Man United fans? I think we all do. I think we're all guilty of it. We talk about how we don't get the manager doesn't implement the basics right, but then based on our personal feelings towards certain players, we either use it as an excuse for them or we ignore it. We did it in the Pogba. We'd all agree is superior technically to Bruno Fernandes, but if Bruno has stinkers, it's just his ability. Pogba would have a stinker, and it's the system and the training and the way we play. And I always sit there and just think, surely it's the same for both. Surely it has to be the same for both. But I do hear you. I think the Ineos team have proven they have a methodical way of making decisions. We often criticize the Glazers' knee-jerk reaction in the past. Relax, everyone. It's a great point.
Also, big up Baz. I haven't seen him in ages.
Yeah, I ain't seen Baz in a while. Terry, what do you think about Ten Hag saying the 4th clean sheet? I look at it this way, right? It's like I take out KJ's car for the day and I bring it back and the wing mirror's broke. It's all scratched. The bumper's all dented because I've been clipping posters to drive past them. I went into the back of someone. The car is messed up. But I go, parallel parked well, though. It's not going to matter because the car's still messed up and damaged. You know what I mean? It's one bit's good. The rest of it's awful. I'm happy Chelsea dropped points today, praying for their downfall of Chelsea so they can stop saying they have a better squad than the current top 3. In fairness, Don does say the squad is pretty much better than everybody other than City. Don does say that. We have to be honest with that. I fully believe Ten Hag has predetermined subs. He does not care about the flow of the game, just subs whichever players he decides on before the game.
No, I don't think that's true. I do think he tries to change the game. It just doesn't work most of the time. Although today, it felt like a farewell tour today. I'm not going to lie. Man brought on Anthony instead of Ahmed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Man brought on Lindelof out of nowhere. Like, man, barely
yeah,
football.
It was. But then, completely, sort of throws, Lissandro under the bus. And it's like, yeah, you're dropped. And he wasn't great in the last game. But, yeah, just completely, you're done out here. Auralus uglies were reduced to fouls versus 10 men. It's what's been said there. Where is that fraud, Don? In fairness, he went to the game. He told us he weren't coming on beforehand. Question to the panel: how can we consider Villa a serious top 4 team if they cannot beat a mid-table minnow like United?
I think some of us at the start of the season said, let's see how Villa do from coming off a Champions League high back to the Premier League. They haven't done it in years, right? And I think, and also they're picking up a lot of injuries now as well. They picked up a lot of injuries from the Bayern game. Anana wasn't there, a few others weren't there. You know, they picked up Konza's injury today. So let's see how they cope. You know what I mean?
It's quite difficult for Villa because they've got a small squad. So I feel like when they don't start getting results, people say, "Oh, see, Villa aren't that good." But I think you can't be disingenuous to the reality of a small squad, one competing in Champions League higher level football that should be travelling, and then trying to still reproduce what you did the season before in the Prem. I think like with Villa, you have to give them some credit, even if they do have a drop off in the league and they still manage. Let's say they make 6th. I still think that's a very, very, very good outing if they go all the way in the Champions or go so far in the Champions League.
How you can judge it? How can you judge a team by losing one game and winning other games? Like it's one game. You can't just judge a team by
Alex,
game.
You're spot on. I do think with football fans, we do this thing where Cole Palmer's form since he joined Chelsea puts him up there as one of the top players in that period in the world, one of the best in the Premier League. He'll have a game where he doesn't do much, and it'll be told you he weren't that good, and then it'll be great. It'll be great for 5, 6, 7 games, and then he'll have a match where he doesn't quite deliver, and this has been normal, barring a certain Messi and Ronaldo. Pretty much been most players forever in football have been like that. It's just a weird world we live in now. Weird world.
Do you know the story of Miracle on Ice? It's called when the US beat the Soviet Union in hockey. It's literally that thing. You beat them one time, you lost 17 times before, you lost 24 more times after that. But you called Miracle on Ice. Is that what I'm saying? You're making movies out of it. That's all it is. Oh, I'm done. Sorry.
Oh, Brighton have just scored as well. Okay, it's 1-1.
My Wi-Fi dropped out then. If who's BJ? Brennan Johnson played for Chelsea, they would say he's world class. Also, the dark arts is great now because Chelsea couldn't get 3 points against 10 men. Nottingham Forest.
You're talking to the kings of the dark arts. Don't say we are the kings of the dark arts for 30+ years.
Also, I think I read a tweet wrong, by the way. I think I read a tweet wrong. They were saying that Spurs have gone ahead and then put 1-1 to Brighton. So yeah, that's my bad. I don't know if it's 1-1 there.
No, I'm watching it live on Sky. Not right now. They haven't had a shot yet, Brighton. Spurs have actually been majestic. They've been majestic.
Hang on, Harry back on. He just put Brighton. Oh no, he just changed it now. Maybe
Look, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in and giving us their opinions. We're back after the Spurs game, so make sure you're there supporting us. Well, at least we didn't lose today is all I can really say. He didn't get beat down. I didn't want that at all. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, I want to say thank you. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you in about an hour or so. Take care. Peace.